This is a Gigabyte Aero 4060 Ti GPU, and the general consensus for the internet is that the 4060 Ti is not a good card. When I was looking to buy this, I had a lot of people tell me, don't buy it, it's a scam, you'll regret it. I've had this for a month now, so do I regret my purchase? Absolutely not. I love this card. So I think the fact that a lot of people say that this is not a good card is only because it has like a 10 to 15% boost over the 3060 Ti. So it's not worth the upgrade if you have a 3060. And yeah, like I said, that seems to be why a lot of people are upset. But I'm gonna be honest, sounds like some first world problems to me. Alright, you don't need to upgrade to every new GPU that comes out, but hey, I can't tell you how to spend your money, right? Also, it has a smaller bit bus, so yeah, there's that. But what it does have is a lower power draw DLSS 3. It can run ray tracing, and this card in particular, it looks pretty good. That's actually the reason why I bought it. Also, my 2060 died the same day the 4060 Ti released. I plan to upgrade my GPU soon, but with this timing, I just went straight ahead with the 4060 Ti because I was planning to get it when the announced date anyway. So if you're looking at the 3060 Ti versus this card, here's why I went with the 4060 despite everyone telling me to go with the 3060 Ti. It's all about perspective. Everyone saying not to get this either had a 3060 Ti or a better card. This card simply suited my needs better. After doing research, the 4060 Ti was better in every 1080p benchmark comparison. I don't plan to change to 1440, so those results didn't matter to me. It also has a lower power consumption, so I don't need to change my power supply. It looks better than all the 3060 Ti cards I came across, and since I make videos, it's better at rendering in Adobe Premiere. And for gaming, it had ray tracing and DLSS 3, which I wanted to try out, and I'm happy with the results. Despite people being upset that this is only a 15% boost over the 3060 Ti, which is more of a sidestep than an upgrade, again, it's about perspective. For people on the lower end cards like I was, this isn't just a 15% boost over my 2060. Why would I get the card that has 149% more power when I can get a card that has 165% more power, has the ray tracing and DLSS perks, and I don't have to change my power supply? So it was kind of an easy choice for me choosing between these two. But even though you're watching this 4060 Ti review, like me, go with the card that you think suits your needs better, whether that's the 3060 Ti or this one. So this goes for $440 on Amazon, but regular 4060s go for just $400. And if you're wondering why did I pay an extra $40 just for this card, again, I like how it looks, and I wanted to try a white GPU, and it actually suits my black and white theme in my case, which you can't see because this box is here. But in my defense, this is what I had for the last 4 years, so I was completely fine dropping an extra $40 for a card that I think looks amazing. The packaging looks great, and I especially love the backplate. Like I said, this is an amazing card. The only reason you would pay extra for this one in particular is because you want a white GPU. If that's the case, yes, I can recommend this. This actually looks a lot better in person than it does on Amazon. But fair warning, this is a pretty chunky GPU, so if you do currently have a pretty slim card or a double fan, I did a comparison just so you can see how it compares to other GPUs. It is a lot taller and a lot longer in length, so you know, might want to check if this will fit in your case. Some cases don't fit very long GPUs. I actually had to take out my network card because this could not fit on my motherboard, which is fine because I don't use Wi-Fi with my case anyway. But yeah, just something to bear in mind. This is a pretty big card. The card does have RGB, and you'll need the Gigabyte Fusion RGB app to control it. It has the usual effects like, you know, the blinking and the color cycle. You can change the speed and brightness, but I have to let you know my PC has been randomly blue screening the last month, and it turns out this software is white. Third-party software can mess with your files, and this was the culprit. I saw several posts on Reddit about it. I uninstalled it and my PC's fine now. So if you do decide to get this RGB app and your PC starts randomly blue screening and just throwing up a bunch of random errors, you might want to uninstall this. That's just a warning, just letting you know. The one thing I can say I don't like, and this is me, I guess, really looking for flaws, only the Aero tag lights up, but because the font they use is so thin, if you use some really bright colors, you can't really see the word Aero. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but that's how it looks in person. So it looks better with darker colors, but I just set it on a bright white because, again, that just fits my theme. But again, that's me just looking for flaws. That's the one thing that I can say that I don't really like, but yeah, it's not really a big deal. Now, in terms of how the card performs for games, I'll put up benchmarks for non-ray trace games after, but I wanted to talk about the ray tracing for the few games I own that have it. Cyberpunk was a game that impressed me the most. You can actually run this game with Ray Tracing Ultra and get between 90 and 120 FPS. I was just limit testing by cranking up all of the settings to see how far it could go before the game started like stuttering or crashed, and it didn't happen. The reflections and shadows look insane. I was really impressed by this, and with the Ray Tracing off and graphics on Ultra with the DLSS, you can get over 130 frames easy. The frames will drop if you go to like really crowded areas like Japantown, but you can turn down the crowd density slider in the settings to get around this. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, unfortunately, is just too demanding of a game to run on max settings with ray tracing, it seems. You'll get a ton of frame drops. I messed around with the settings for a while, and it seems putting this on high graphics with ray tracing set to medium for the volumetric lighting and stuff. That seems to be the most stable settings. You get between 70 and 100 FPS, but it can dip to the low 50s when a lot of action is happening because the game just has a lot of effects on screen constantly. And Fortnite was also surprising. Looks amazing on max settings with ray tracing, but it also is just too demanding, and you get a lot of stutters. After a lot of testing, I actually spent the most time messing around with this game. Medium settings with ray tracing on is the most stable I could get the game to run. You can get around 90 FPS, but if you're playing an online game like this, you probably want the highest FPS possible anyway, so I assume you'll just turn down the graphics in the settings. Me personally, as much as I love how Fortnite looks with ray tracing, I'm gonna put it back to DirectX 11 because it's more stable there. I can get over 120 FPS on high settings. Ghost Runner and Doom Eternal also have ray tracing. Ghost Runner, it was like a consistent 60 to 70 FPS, and Doom Eternal was hitting up to 190. The game is super smooth. So while it can handle, a lot of games with ray tracing, for some reason it seems when you go in photo mode, if the game has it, that's when you'll notice the performance drops. You'll get like 20 to 30 FPS and it's really laggy. So I guess it can play the games with ray tracing, but in the photo mode is a bit much. I took these photos in Cyberpunk and Ratchet & Clank. All of the games crashed after staying in the photo mode for a while, so I'm not surprised with how good the photos came out. I guess it was pushing the card a bit too hard. So yeah, if you are into like taking photos, just turn on ray tracing and take your pictures pretty quickly, I guess, before the game crashes. So here's the FPS I got in all the games I tested. You can pause it here if you want. It can run just about everything on Ultra I tested, but you have to tweak some settings. You can't just crank everything up to max and then just play the game. That's when you get stutters. So turn down the quality of shadows and the rendering for objects in the distance. Turn off motion blur and turn on DLSS if the game has it. I've tested these exact settings with a lot of games, and once I make those changes, the games run smoothly. So I assume it's like mainly the shadows. That's probably why the game starts to stutter. Cyberpunk impressed me the most when it came to ray tracing performance, but for the non-ray trace games, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the winner for me. I thought this game looked good on PS4, and I thought it looked good on my 2060. I was wondering why they gave the game DLSS and not ray tracing, but now I know that it does need it. This motherfucker does not need ray tracing. Red Dead on Ultra is, I don't even know. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. This was, there was a storm and I was just like walking around in Armadillo, and the reflections from my lamp. It was just shining on everything, and then like lightning hit. It looks so good. I fucking love technology. And it was running smooth too. It was like a consistent 80 FPS, and it would peak in the 110s, and on the lowest ends it would go to like the low 70s. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this card is handling games. I throw any game at it on Ultra, and I tweak those settings like I said with shadows, and it handles it fine. So those are the benchmarks. In terms of temperature and noise, this is a very quiet card. I don't hear it at all. I'll be honest, the CPU cooler is probably the loudest thing in my PC. While idling, you'll get to like between 40-45 degrees, and while under load, it normally stays around 65. So I peaked up to like 68 once, but that's about it. Yes, between 60-65 while you're playing games. Yeah, I think I don't really have anything else to say about this card. I'm pretty happy with my purchase. You don't have to buy this particular one because it costs $40 more than the regular 4060s, but if you were looking to get a 4060, I don't see the issue. So I'm happy with this card. Would I recommend it for you? However, yes and no. It depends. If you still have the 10 series cards, then yeah, this is a pretty big jump. You will notice, and it does have ray tracing. And if you are on the, I would say, lower end of the 20 series cards, if you have a 3060 or well any 30 series card, really, it doesn't make sense. Like I said at the beginning, it's only like a 10-15% boost, unless you want ray tracing and DLSS, then maybe, but I don't see why you would switch from a 3060 to this just for ray tracing. Just, I don't know, save an extra like 100 or 2 and just buy a better GPU. But yeah, I'll be honest, I don't see why everybody's so upset about this card. Besides the 3060 owners, maybe they wanted to upgrade to this, but other than that, for everybody else on the lower end of the GPU spectrum, this is a pretty good card to get. But yeah, that's the end of this short review for the 4060 Ti. I'll leave a link in the description down below if you want to purchase this one from Amazon. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.